Hello and welcome to this India Today special report where we simplify the biggest talking points right now in the country. The Modi government is overhauling the Waqf Act to restrict the unfettered powers of the Waqf Board, which is interestingly the country's third largest landowner after the Indian Railways and also after our armed forces. Now, the Modi cabinet has approved a total of 40 amendments to the Act, and this was done on August 2nd. These changes are being rolled out by bringing in a bill in Parliament. So let's explain to you what exactly is Waqf first. Waqf is defined as a property that's given in the name of God for religious and charitable purposes. Here's the exact definition. Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person of any property for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious or charitable. Now, the proceeds are typically used to go ahead and finance educational institutions. It's also used to finance graveyards and, of course, importantly, mosques as well, and finally also for shelter homes. This is what, in fact, the money is used for. Now, here's an important point that you must note. As per Sharia law, land that's once given to the Waqf, it cannot be reversed. Notably, also, their holdings have actually surged in the last few years, doubled since 2009. Let's explain to you now the history of the Waqf Act. This act first came into being, was first passed by Parliament way back in 1954. Subsequently, there were changes made. It was actually repealed, and then a new Waqf Act was passed in 1995 that gave more powers to the Waqf Boards. And then again, a few years later, in 2013, there were changes made. This act was further amended to actually give far-reaching powers to the Waqf Board to designate the property as Waqf property. Let's now tell you all about the functions of the Waqf Board. Currently, and here's how it works, it's not just one Waqf Board, it's every state has a Waqf Board, and that's headed by a chairperson. One or two nominees from the state government are there, Muslim MLAs, Muslim MPs, Muslim members of the State Bar Council, Islamic scholars, all of them are part of these boards. And these boards have powers under the law to administer property, to take measures for the recovery of lost properties, and actually go ahead and sanction the transfer of immovable property. The Waqf Board has also been granted unrestrained power under the law to register properties. So how many Waqf properties are there in the country? Currently, these Waqf Boards have over 8,70,000 immovable properties, 16,173 movable properties, and over 3 lakh estates, 3,56,031 estates to be exact, in more than 8 lakh acres of land. Let's tell you now about the Modi government's proposed amendments to this act. We'll break it down point by point. First, the draft legislation is likely to propose the restructuring of Waqf Boards. The amendments aim to enhance inclusivity, and this is an important one. It will ensure women representation on all Waqf Boards. Secondly, the government plans to make it mandatory for the Waqf Board to actually register its property in the district collector's office so that all of the property can be evaluated. Third, all claims made by the Waqf Board on properties will now undergo mandatory verification as well if these amendments are passed. Now, also remember that as per the current Act, Waqf property cannot be challenged in any court of law. In all likelihood, that too will change. Now, as expected, the opposition right now is up in arms against these amendments being brought in by the Modi government. But what's the government's retort? They claim that the Waqf Act of 1995 was made under the garb of actually managing Waqf properties. But there's no such act to regulate other religions for followers of other religions. And that really is the contention for bringing in these amendments. A political storm that's playing out in Parliament over the Waqf Act and the amendments.